Welcome everyone to another thrilling episode of Ramblin Ram. Today we got an amazing guest in the studio, Damian, the talented guitarist and vocalist known for his band Lstinhllywood, diving into his music journey, his passion for rock, and what lies ahead. Damian, great to have you with us. How are you doing?
Doing great. And yourself?
Not too bad, man. How's things on your end?
Pretty good. Chilling day. Hung out with Lana earlier. Went to Bulk Barn, which was sick. We got Halloween candy because so the last time we went, when it was back last year in October, we went because we do a lot of baking and stuff, and we went to see what Halloween stuff they had. They didn't have anything at all. So they finally had stuff. I mean, it's August. So we just got everything that we need. So we're all good for this year. So nice. That was my day pretty much.
Bulk Barn is always nice to go. I mean, especially during Halloween, you can pick and choose your own candy. Whereas if you go to other stores, you have to settle with a bag of Chupa Chups, and you're like, I don't want Chupa Chups, man.
Exactly. It's like when you go trick or treating, you can't pick. You see Kit Kat or the Arrow in the bar, and they go for the coffee crisp or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's
okay, this is not the house. Let's go to the other house.
Straight up. Yo, the big bars though. The big bars.
Oh yeah,
those always
crazy. The Toblerone bars, man. I received.
Oh my god.
I remember.
I've seen those. Yeah.
Big ass Toblerone bars. I was eating it for a month. I was like, this is too great to finish.
Oh my god, bro. No, I finished all my Halloween candy immediately. All the time. When I got it lasted a few weeks, maybe at most, entire bag. But that was a big bag, so yeah.
Nice. Speaking of big, you got those big skulls around you.
Hell yeah.
How are they?
Hell yeah. Chillin'. These are actually Halloween decorations, but they look really sick. I kind of brought them out, and we've been using them for forever now, just kind of in the background and stuff. And yeah, I got them from Home Depot years ago.
Really? I thought you bought it from Party City or.
No, they don't. Honestly, okay, Spirit Halloween has some really cool stuff. Party City, they usually don't have a lot. Not gonna lie. But Home Depot goes hard with the dirty shit, you know what I'm saying?
So Damian, your talent as a guitarist and a vocalist is undeniable. Can you share how you first discovered your passion for music and why specifically rock?
I think my passion for music started really, really young. I was probably 3 years old, and I have an uncle, Uncle Rob, and he was living in the basement at the time of my grandparents' house. So when I was a little kid, I used to go over, and he would show me all kinds of music, everything from, Maiden to Ozzy to Dream Theater to just so many different things Rob Zombie, Manson, you pretty much name it. And so that got me really, really into music. And then my parents, because I grew up very, very Catholic, and so they were that's the devil's music, and they didn't allow me to listen to it. So I literally had to listen to it in secret, with earbuds or whatever I could get my hands on, because I wasn't even allowed to have earbuds actually when I was a kid. But so I guess it kind of just stemmed from that, and kind of wanting to listen to it because it was something secretive that you weren't allowed to do. So it was but it's so fucking stupid. It's music. You know what I'm saying?
It reminds me of those days back in the 70s. Have you seen those videos that pop up every now and then on your recommended list, and you're like, what is this? So I saw a video about this kid, and he was sitting right next to his mother. He was about our age, and the mom was talking to the cameraman about how rock music is this devil thing, and look at him, he's also he's like this, like that, and then the guy's chilling there, he's like, yeah, but it's music, I mean, I rock with it. And then people in the comment section were like, no way, I would really like to see how the dude ended up afterwards. So the person who posted the video was the exact same person who did the documentary back in like that era.
Okay, yeah.
And he followed up with the guy. He found the guy and he followed him up like after like 35 years. And the guy was like, totally, rock music rocked my world, and my mom eventually came to terms with it, and she rocked on with me, and everyone's like, yo, that's such a perfect circle, like you come back.
Yeah, dude. That's pretty much it. It's crazy, yeah. And so, that's where like... And then a lot of my music love just stems from music in general. Like, I like so many different genres. Like, I like everything from rock to hip-hop. Goth is a huge one. I really like... In high school, I was really into blues and like Zeppelin and stuff like that. Everything from, you know, Cradle of Filth, like Frank Sinatra. I just like, my music world is so like diverse in the stuff that I like. So I think that has a big impact on my music as well, and especially my like solo music, because that's just literally me sitting down and.
I wake up, I'm faded. You say you hate it. We're almost famous. Fucking contagious. Inhale every night from night. Product gas keeps you awake. Smoking after sex like.
I was wondering about that. Like, you said rock, and then you said rap, and that just like threw me off. It was like one thing
jazz,
the other. That's so cool, man. So rock is a very diverse genre. You got progressive rock, you got gothic rock, like you said. You got glam rock from the 80s, which was something called like hair rock. I don't know, because of probably all the Taft.
Fucking hair, man.
So what drew you specifically to this rock music, and how it shaped you as an identity, as Damian Rose, and then later on as Lstinhllywood, which is your band?
Okay, I think rock isn't... rock is really interesting, because if you look at rock from the 60s and then you look at rock even from like the 80s or the 90s, it sounds very different. And the way that rock was created was literally just kind of, you know, teens and, you know, young adults just kind of making music that they like the sound of, and not really trying to do anything in specific, but just kind of try to convey emotions through music. And I think that's like the most inner, you know, web of rock. That is the embodiment of rock for me, is, you know, giving a voice to the voiceless and literally just doing what you want, creating what you want. And I think that's why you get a lot of different genres of rock and stuff like that. Yeah. And I think that is why rock is a very diverse genre, because literally just people, like everyday people, just making music that they like, and then other people like it too, and, you know, it just kind of goes from there. That's pretty much every kind of story of every rock band almost, you know.
In this day and age, where the mainstream is very far from rock, I mean, rock is
you'd be surprised. Really? Oh, you'd be surprised. They're getting so intertwined now, it's crazy. We're kind of getting back to an era of the 80s a little bit. Especially with, you know, MGK, everyone like that, the whole pop punk scene with Avril, and like all these people that are just kind of on the come up, and it's kind of really crazy to see, because I remember, definitely, like if you would have looked like 5, 6, 7 years ago, you wouldn't, like, it would have been very far from the mainstream. But now it's kind of overlapping in some ways, kind of like it did in the 80s, and
so like
personally, I think it's gonna. Yeah, personally, I think what's gonna happen is there's gonna be a change. Probably, it's gonna go through pretty much what happened in the 80s, and then it's gonna kind of burn itself out. And that's kind of where I just kind of want to stay on the outskirts and just kind of keep making the type of music that I want to make to at the time. Because, you know, that's what a lot of the biggest bands that I've ever loved is. That's what they've done, you know, everybody from Sabbath to, like, even fucking, honestly, even people like Lil Peep, Like, if you think about it, like, it's just, you know, a kid making music and just making the type of music that he wanted to make, and not really affected by what was going on in the media per se, but just, you know, giving a voice to people who felt like the way that he felt, you know.
Totally. And you know what? Speaking of keeping on to the type of music that you're making is such a power move, because I remember, I mean, I listened to Kiss a lot, and I remember back in the 70s, Kiss used to have this particular type of genre that they would do, and the face painting was, in my opinion, it was supplementary to their type of music. But then when the 80s rolled around, their type of music was kind of dying down, and they adapted to that music, and then everyone who was a diehard fan, including myself, kind of was off-put by their new sound. So you see a lot of musicians, even today, kind of like going with the flow, and then some of them losing their identity as a result. So keeping to your roots is a very tough task, but I really admire you that you want to keep doing what you do.
Thank you.
So let's talk about Lstinhllywood. You've been making waves in the music scene. I can tell from your Spotify account. Can you tell us about your most memorable experiences creating music and performing live with your band?
The fans, honestly. I think the fans are everything to me, and just remember, like, this is probably like one of my top stories, is after a show, it was Markham, and a bunch of the high school kids came out, and they all wanted me to like sign their like arms and like hands and stuff like that. But then this one girl comes up to me, and she looks me dead in the eyes, and she's like, "Can you sign my forehead?" And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Can you sign my forehead?" I'm like, "Are you sure?" And she's like, "Yes, 100%. And then I was like, "Okay," and I signed her forehead, but it was really cool. I'm still thinking, like, what happened when she went home, man? Like, that must have been a fucking funny story. Like, her dad just like sees her like, what
is this?
But no, honestly, that was a really sick show, and no, the fans like are everything, and like even like in public, like some people say like just say hi to me and shit like that, and it's really cool. Like I always love seeing them and shit. So yeah,
that's cool. So tell me about your roots. I remember you told me about how you started, and you were a part of a band. What was the name of the band that you got started off with? And how did that become Lstinhllywood later on? Was there a connection, or was it a separate path?
Okay, oh my god. I think you're talking about James Moore and the Midnight Riders.
That's right.
Because, oh my god, some of my fans have found it, and it's so funny. Oh, man, I looked like a farmer boy. Straight up, I looked like a farmer boy. I had a mullet, I wore a cowboy hat and like leather. Anyways, it was very much like a classic rock band, and we played a lot of bars and stuff like that, but then we played a lot of like parties and stuff like that too. But I remember my parents were like very controlling. It was like I wanted to play this song. Like I remember I wanted to play Seek and Destroy or Search and Destroy. Search and Destroy by Iggy Pop. And my dad just was like, "No, you are not playing that song. Nobody likes that song, this and this," right? When meanwhile, I mean, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, who's his favorite band, like literally covered the song, but so they were like very controlling in that aspect. If I wasn't playing like a super well-known song, it was like, "You're not allowed to play that song." So COVID came and I was kind of over that band. So the solo project came up, and I was just like, I was in my bedroom, and it was COVID. It was the first month. Lana and I couldn't even see each other for like the entire month. And so I started writing some music, and just kind of what flew out at the time. I was listening to a lot of Panic at the Disco and Frank Sinatra and that type of thing at the time. And so I recorded the guitar, the bass, I programmed all the drums, I did the vocals, I did the backing vocals, keyboards, etc., and then I like mixed it all, produced it all, and then put it out on my first ever EP, and that was the first ever Lstinhllywood EP when it was a solo project. And so that's kind of how I
How many
went
solo
from...
projects and how many EPs do you have out as Lstinhllywood?
Well, the solo project, as Lstinhllywood, has one EP and I think one single, because I think I did Pet Cemetery for Halloween. And I put a music video out. You're not going to be able to find it anymore. Maybe I'll put it on like Patreon eventually or something. I don't know. But so that, and then Lstinhllywood has 2 EPs, and then a song, Bittersweet, which was like our first single. When it was actually different members even. Calvin Thistle, which we were good writing partners. We wrote To Or Her together, we wrote Somebody to Dance, but he was the old bassist, and he was a cool guy. Still like hang out all the time and shit, so. Yeah, and then Yonko was like our guitarist, who went to Serbia. Literally, this dude went to Europe, so obviously he couldn't stay in the band, and that's when Lana came in, and yeah, then it was a band for a bit. Right now, I'd say we dropped something, we're on hiatus. I'm kind of doing the solo thing right now, because Chris is going back to school in Ottawa. Lana's going to school. She's actually moving for school. She has her own place. She's going in for like interior design and stuff like that, which is cool. And I'm doing university as well, but of course like creative, like entertainment business, that type of a thing. I find it honestly does help a lot with just kind of navigating the whole music industry and stuff, because there's so much to know. It's good to, you know, kind of have bearings, especially when you're going into contracts and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm just taking this new solo project. This is Damian Rose. I have Prom Night in Hell. That's the first single I put out. And that single, the music video actually did better than Howl at the Moon did, which was the last Lstinhllywood video. So I see everything increasing. So no, it's all thanks to the fans and everything. And no, it's crazy to see where I am now from where I was last year, where I'll be in a year from now. You know, I really can't wait.
Totally, you're just taking off into the moon.
Living to your detriment, friends are so irrelevant. Singing, shut up and drive, just drive. How will I move? This is a gothic romance.
It's pretty interesting. So Lstinhllywood has 3 EPs, you said, and 2 singles, correct?
1 single.
1 single.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, 2 singles. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the solo one. Sorry, you're right. Yeah. I always forget about that one because it's like I never think Lstinhllywood when it was solo. But yeah. No, yeah, you're right.
And you recently had a tour, I would say, to Hollywood. Is that correct?
Yeah, we went to LA. It was a lot of fun, actually. I definitely am going to live there. I'm gonna live there like 110% because it's so nice. There's actually stuff to do. Like, okay, so I'm from Markham, so there's not a lot around here, honestly. It's like, if you want to hang out with your friends, you're pretty much hanging out in your basements. It's pretty much, you know, suburbia. What else do you have to do? You know, walk the streets if you want to go to the park. Yeah. So, but LA is there's just so much to do all the time. It was a lot of fun.
I don't think you ever run out of things to do in LA, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You can do 5 things every week, and you still have things to do by like 5.
Yeah, dude, they got like. Dude, they got Disney, they got like the Hollywood Strip, they got like, it's insane the amount of things that one city has. I guess it's like entertainment, like haven, you know, kind of, so it makes sense.
It is, totally. I think that if you want to succeed as an entertainer, whether it be an actor or
Yeah.
a musician, I think Hollywood is your go-to. Like it's your harem.
Oh yeah.
It's your pilgrimage, I would say.
Indeed. I wanted to see the culture. I wanted to see the culture of Los Angeles and what it's really like. Because, you know, you can only see so much through movies. And movies are wildly exaggerated a lot of the time. Like, I mean, if you look at like a high school movie, dude, my high school was not like a high school movie. I wish it was. Low-key, I kind of wish it was. But no, it was kind of boring. But I wanted to see if LA was like really all it's hyped out to be, or is it just like boring, kind of like a high school movie, you know? And no, it was so sick.
So, Damian, let's focus on you as a musician. You've been bringing up the solo part of Damian Rose a lot. So I wanted to touch upon that. Can you share like a brief instance when you had like a moment of realization that you definitely needed a solo album? Did it come naturally? Was it by chance? Was it recommended to you? Did you draw inspiration from your favorite bands? How did it happen?
It came pretty naturally to me, to be honest with you. Because I'm into so many different styles of music, and it didn't really make sense 100% to put this stuff under Lstinhllywood, since it's more of, you know, solo songs, and you know, not every single one of them, they have different instruments, you know, like Prominent in Hell's like heavy on the synths and stuff like that. So it didn't 100% make sense to put it out as release with Lstinhllywood. So I wanted to start a solo project. And since, you know, a lot of things in the band too, you know, like Chris is going to school, he'll be in Ottawa for like during the year, Len will be at school as well. So music has always been like my number one thing, like what I want to do with my life. And so I just thought it kind of made sense for me to make a solo project, because then even when they're away, I'm able to, you know, continue working on music and continue growing and you know, continue making new art and bringing out new art.
And how many songs are you recording for your solo project?
Man, I just keep on recording them. Like honestly, a lot of the songs are they have to do with my life, and kind of a lot of them like emotions or whatever I'm going through, or what, you know. And so it flows pretty naturally, and I just kind of go into the studio, and if I need to get something off my chest or something, or I feel like writing something, I just go and write something. And so honestly, I don't know, it might end up being like 20 tracks by the end of it.
No way.
I don't know, you know. I think I have 6 fully done, or like 8 fully done right now, maybe 9. I definitely want to do another at least 6 or 7 or 8. I don't know, we'll see how many I pump out. You know, it's just kind of inspiration. You know, if I get inspiration, I'll write. If I don't, then I won't. Yeah.
True. You mentioned that when Lstinhllywood was starting out, you did most of the heavy work. Do you have all the necessary equipment to make your single work, or do you have to like call one of your band members and say, hey, can I borrow your bass guitar or your drums?
Oh no, I have absolutely everything. Yeah. Yeah. I usually just use Sub-Bass though if I'm creating the beat. So I honestly don't even actually use bass guitar. Like I do have everything here that I would be able to use. And Lena, you know, use her bass here, so it works too.
Totally cool. So, and what do you use for your software?
I just use Logic. I grew up using like GarageBand when I was a kid, so it just kind of made sense. I kind of already knew kind of how to, you know, navigate it and stuff, so I just use Logic, yeah.
Logic is it
Apple.
is it on Apple? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So, you know what? I had this thought. Every single musician, when they talk on TV, whether it be big bands or upcoming bands, they always talk about, like always be yourself and keep up with your dreams, and that means that they had moments of doubt and moments where they had obstacles and they had to overcome that. Can you share a brief instance when you had doubts when you were in your music journey, and how did you push through them?
For sure. Be honest with you, I don't know. I've never had doubts in my music journey. Like, I've had setbacks, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I've literally had guitarists in my band leave like the week before a show. And it's like, what? Like, in James Mayer and the Midnight Riders, it's long ago. We went through a few different changes, so I'm not going to say who it was, but it was like, what? So it, like, there's some like setbacks like that, but like all in all, you kind of collect yourselves and keep going, and you just keep on, going towards that dream, chasing that dream, and like sooner or later it's bound to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, just got to keep manifesting that shit, and just
So challenges are a part of an artistic pursuit, no matter what you do in music, and art, photography. Could you briefly highlight a challenge, let's say a significant challenge, something that sticks in your mind that you faced in your musical career and how you overcame
it? Honestly, I would say finding people who want to do music as much as you do. Because, like, me, myself, like, I'm going to school for music, you know what I'm saying? Like, on top of going to school for music, doing all the stuff that you actually, like, it's one thing to go to school and, like, yeah, you can go to school, you can get a degree, whatever. But it's, what are you doing outside of school, too? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, for me, especially when it comes to music, if you're not, like, actively, promoting and, keeping up with socials and stuff like that, like, it's just nothing's ever gonna pan out, Like, if you want it, you need to work for that. Like, I literally wake up from the time that I, wake up, and I pretty much work on music and stuff, outside of, seeing friends a couple days or like Lana or whatever, but I work on music stuff till the time I go to sleep. Like, I almost don't even have time for myself. Like, honestly, that's not even a great thing, but like the amount of things that artists have to do nowadays to actually make it in the music industry, because you have to be pretty much your own manager in the beginning. You have to, book shows. You have to, do all the business side of stuff. You have to be pretty much like a social media influencer, which is a whole other job. Like, musicians have to be social media influencers. Social media influencers don't even have to be musicians, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. So finding people who want to stick it out that much and put all the work in, that's the hardest thing. That's the hardest thing ever. Like, honestly, I would have to say, like, Motley Crue, like, they were all in friggin' apartment with each other, whiskey, taking on the whiskey every night, that type of thing. But, like, finding them, like, me and Chris, we've been playing together since about 12. And, yeah, that's just how I met him. And then Lana's literally my girlfriend, It's like, out of that, like, I've been playing in bands professionally since, like, 14. I've played in, oh my god, dude, like, probably, like, 20 bands. And, you just don't see it there, And, yeah, so I think finding people, that's the hardest thing ever. the challenge.
Interesting. Do you think that your experience doing your own managing will help you in, for example, succeeding in your university, or do you think that there's going to be a separation at some point, and then one's going to do one thing, the other one's going to do the other thing?
Oh man, I don't even want to think of a week from now. I'm gonna be like doing 5 university courses plus like, oh my god,
no way.
It's because like where I am right now, like yeah, you see I have a lot of followers and stuff like that, but man, you know Markham, like a lot of people even here who's gonna be stringing from like America and stuff like that, our housing here is like 1.5 mil. 1.5 mil. Like what?
How do you
how are me and my friends even gonna even afford a house like ever? You know what I'm saying? Like like I don't fucking know, man. It's crazy.
It's better to just live with the dream of moving to Hollywood and then buying a house. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's what I'm doing. That's 110% what I'm doing. But even there, it's gonna be like the same prices here. It's ridiculous. Why would I choose to live in Markham over Hollywood?
I think the difference is pretty clear. You're gonna live in a mansion there for $1.5 million, whereas here it's just a house.
No, straight up, it's so bad, dude. Oh my god.
Oh no. This is totally the goth topics that we wanted to get into, like, you know, like.
Oh yeah.
Depressive, yes. Gothic,
hell yes.
Yo, that's funny. So, you know, speaking of goth, what genre would you say you are?
Alt. I'm not classifying myself as anything because I have so many influences in my music. I'm not gonna say anything because I feel like people who are into goth, people who are into rock, people who are into metal, people who are into hip hop, people who are into pop could all, you know, all like the music. So I just call it alt. I know people in the past, I put out a, you know, post on Instagram. I've gotten like goth pop, I've gotten alt pop, I've gotten rock, I've gotten metal, I've gotten punk. I've gotten jazz, which was a weird one, but I got jazz. At that point, I just think they're kind of fucking with me, you know. But
someone should have put in rap just to like cover everything, you know.
But
your
no,
heat map
like
is all over the place. It's not like a centrified heat map. It's like a word map that is like.
Yeah.
Pretty much everywhere.
And different songs have different, you know, genres and stuff, but they kind of all tend to have the same vibe. They have the same vibe, like even if they're like different styles, like they fit together. It's interesting. I don't know. I just kind of, I guess it's kind of, it's from me. It's just kind of emotion, so it kind of fits. But yeah, I don't know. I get a lot of different answers.
It's alright. It's pretty cool. Being a very rounded musician gives you a chance to gather a lot more crowds. So it's a pretty good move. Now, in the world of music, collaboration is key. Can you discuss like the dynamics of working closely with your band, how it impacts your creative process? Or in this case, working with your band before you decided to do the solo project, and then after that, have you done any collaboration with outside parties, whether it be with a certain club, with a certain like bar, or have you talked with any managers, stuff like that?
Sure, for sure. Yeah, for sure. So my first ever collab when I really started writing with somebody who I really liked writing with was Calvin Thistle, the bassist of Lstinhllywood, like the first bassist. We came up with some really good songs together. Bittersweet, Wish You Were Her, Somebody's Dance. That's off our new one actually, finally got put out. And yeah, that was great because we were just like so on the same track, which was really cool. The other person who I've collabed with before is Lana, and it's interesting how we collab, because like I play basically guitar, or I play a riff, and she's like, yeah, I like this, no, I don't like this, and so that's kind of how we write. And for House of Usher, like I had the song written, but I wasn't 100% in love with it, and that was off her second EP, the Lstinhllywood EP. And so she came to me and she was like, you know, what if you tried this with the chorus and this and this, and we kind of wrote that, and so that worked out well. Other than that, I tend to write all my songs, all the Lstinhllywood songs, lyrics and music, and then my solo stuff, write the lyrics. Sometimes I get beats, sometimes I do my own beats. It really depends. It's like I think it is cool to collab with people. So like sometimes I do beats. And then Jillian was actually here the other week, and so she's my friend from high school. So Jillian, she was in choir, and we never really did anything musically until lately, a few weeks ago. She came over and we were just like partying and shit like that, you know, fun. And so I was like, hey, why don't we try writing something, right? Like I've learned to produce at this point. And so we went in and we wrote this song called 6667, and I played it at the first show, the debut Damian Rose show, and the audience, that was like their favorite song, apparently. So that was really cool. That she came in with some lyrics, and I kind of helped her out a little bit with the melody. I do a lot of freestyling actually in the studio.
Do you?
Yeah. I just kind of, a lot of the time, I just kind of turn it on, I press record, and then I see what I come up with, and if I like it, I keep it, and then if I don't, I'll do it again. And that's kind of what I do. Sometimes I write lyrics. It really depends. I do a lot of different things for different songs, but for example, I just put it on my SoundCloud, this freestyle. It's called Hopeless Tragedy. And that one was a freestyle. I just, you know, one day I just kind of felt like doing a freestyle, was kind of in the mood for it, and then I wanted to release it just as a kind of a deeper cut, because I really like, you know, when you can look at artists and stuff like that, like especially like Juice WRLD and Eminem and stuff like that, and like see these freestyles off the top of their heads, and it's just always fascinated me, like since I was a kid, and I really, really wanted to do it. I was shit when I was a kid. Oh my god, I tried to when I was 13. It was bad. It was really bad, man. I put out an EP when I was 13.
You know what I mean?
I hope nobody finds that ever, because it was so bad. I wrote this song for this girl that I liked in grade 7, and then I shared it with her friend who shared it with the entire school, and I just hope that never leaks. I just hope that never leaks, bro.
Did you see
like,
it?
Honestly,
did you see it? Like, did you see the result? Like the finished thing that it got shared?
No, but the next day everyone was talking about it, and it was awkward. I was really embarrassed, like all day, dude. And honestly, it was so bad. It was so bad. I was so bad when I was 13. Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So collabed with Jillian, and that was a cool song we made. But no, I'm doing more collabs now. I'm doing collab with my friend Karina. That's gonna be coming out to Spotify for Halloween, actually. We're doing a song together. And yeah, I got a few collabs on the way.
Totally cool actually to hear about all these collabs. Did you get approached by any like managers that said, "Yo, your music is cool. I can manage your group"?
Not yet. No. Not yet. No. I still gotta build myself up. Like, to be honest, I feel like managers will start looking when you're around like 10K, so I have a little ways to go. I feel like, you know, probably, I don't know, just keep, you know, if you're watching this, just keep sharing with your friends and family. But yeah, no, I do know a few managers. Like I've talked to a few managers, but right now we just need to grow a little bit more.
Yeah, totally. So, first of all, best of luck on that.
Thank you.
Rock.
Thank you very much.
So, Damian, let's look towards the future and what is it that is in your minds? Like, what are your plans for the future? Do you want to stick with your solo? Do you plan on coming back from the hiatus from Lstinhllywood? Fill in the blanks. Just let the audience know.
Well, I feel like whether it's Lstinhllywood or Damian Rose, it'll always be me creating all the music. I mean, it doesn't really, there's no difference in my mind from Lstinhllywood to Damian Rose, just because like it's both just songs that I wrote. One I just released under Lstinhllywood, one I released under Damian Rose. But we probably will, like in the future, probably. Like I would like to probably do another album or an EP or something. Maybe even by next summer or something like that would be a lot of fun. But no, for now, the plan is 2 EPs and the album with Damian Rose, and then after that, I'm just gonna kind of keep writing. And if it goes under Lstinhllywood, it goes under Lstinhllywood. If it goes under Damian Rose, it goes under Damian Rose. I think I know very clearly what types of songs I want under Damian Rose and what types of songs I want under Lstinhllywood, but I'm never gonna quit either of them, because I feel like in a way I kind of am Lstinhllywood as well, because it did start out as a solo project which grew into a band, so I'm kind of never gonna stop Lstinhllywood. I'm never gonna stop the solo stuff either. And when I come to your areas, it'll probably be both. It'll be like Damian Rose and Lstinhllywood playing. Yeah, keep on kind of booking in shows and kind of plugging away on the music. I think the social media grind is really hard right now. And I'll just kind of want to build up a little bit more first too. Just keep on playing shows and just keep on, releasing music and just making music, because that's what I really love to do at the end of the day,
True. I always have this saying for myself, love what you do, because then you'll be able to keep up with its bullshit.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So, okay, so about shows, do you, is it a paid show? Like, do you have admissions for your shows?
Yeah, yes, we usually do. Like the last show that we played last Friday, Tail the Junction, was actually my debut show, which was a lot of fun. That one was like $10 door fee. It really depends, honestly. Depends on where you're playing, it depends on the venue. Sometimes it's a cut rate, sometimes it's a door fee, and then you split it with bands. It really depends kind of where you're playing.
Very cool. I was only wondering because sometimes there are these like, I'm not sure if you know or not, but in some places that I went that have live music playing, they have these like these free-for-alls. I don't know what they're called. So essentially you're just sitting there as part of the audience, but you're a musician, and the restaurant or the bar has a stage with everything set up.
Yeah.
Sometimes the equipment is for someone else. Sometimes the equipment is for the restaurant or the bar. And I've been to one of those places before, and apparently those places, they take like you have to, when you come in as an audience / a musician that wants to play afterwards, you have to give a door fee, but then something like 90% of that goes to the bar, and then whatever's left goes to the musicians. So
no, but I mean, Toronto is a little bit ridiculous though, with venue rentals, especially when you're trying to get all ages. Because okay, so for the last show on Friday night, I mean, it was fun, don't get me wrong, but there could have been so many more people there, like, because it was 19 plus. So for playing that venue for 19 plus, it's free. If we wanted all ages, and this doesn't mean that the 19 plus won't come out. It just means more people will come out in general. They'll probably sell some pops and stuff, you know. It doesn't change anything. All ages was like $800 rent for the night. And their capacity is 100 people. So even if you put it full capacity, you can only make $200 split between four bands, $50 a band.
That's insane. That's like...
Even if you get 100 people out to that show. So yeah, like all ages in Toronto's just non-existent for all ages. And it sucks because LA, when I went to LA, every bar, even the whiskey, is all ages. And I was talking to a promoter actually, who I'm friends with in the Toronto scene, Fluffio, he's a cool dude. And we were saying together, like, yeah, it's crazy. It's just because, you know, places like LA, and he was saying, and London, they have the need for music. They have the culture there. Here in Toronto, it's just kind of lacking, you know? And so, you know, that's why all ages so hard to come by. But 19 plus is all right, but it restricts so much because, like, so many of my fans, so many Lstinhllywood fans, there's all ages. Teenagers, a huge market. I mean, look at the Beatles, Beatlemania. There's all teenagers. You know what I'm saying? Like, the biggest bands of all time, the biggest artists of all time, all teenagers. But the bars here just don't care because they make more money, you know, from a DJ. Yeah, from just like music, just playing some music, just playing some throwbacks. They make more money that night. So yeah, it's hard because the Toronto scene, it's hard. It's, yeah, all I can say really.
Unfortunate. You guys don't have any explicit lyrics, right?
No, we do, 100%.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was wondering, like, if explicitness plays into a role.
No, that has nothing to do with it. No,
okay.
no.
Good to know, because I truly didn't know about that.
Yeah.
So
no, like it's just like the climate of the area, really, which is a shame. But it's the reason why so many artists, when they do get big from Toronto, they go to LA. Like Drake, Shawn Mendes, they all move to LA when they get bigger. When they starting to get bigger, they go to LA because there's no infrastructure here in Toronto. There just isn't. When you're trying to come up as a band in Toronto and you're just starting out, there's no infrastructure. So bands here, you have to literally build a presence online completely. Then you can go and play a show. It's whacked, but like, yeah. Because you're gonna have to fill 1,000 people place if you want it to be all ages, like half the time. So or you get an all ages show like once every 4 or 5 months, which isn't great, you know? So it's hard to build up that way. So yeah, it's a lot of social media.
And it's only you that is managing the social media, right?
My social media, yes. The band social media, I was doing. It was kind of me and Lana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Join it.
Yeah.
So you're on TikTok. You're on YouTube, yes. Snapchat.
Yep.
What am I missing here? Instagram? Is there anything else?
Instagram, Spotify, SoundCloud, pretty much anything. You just look at my link tree and there's always going to be new stuff there. I'm also directing a horror movie. We're crowdfunding for it right now. And our goal is 2,600. We're at, I think, about 20% of our goal. And that's also my link tree.
That's so
cool. That's like a horror movie. Yeah.
That's so cool. I didn't know about the horror movie.
Yeah.
It's is it a music video
Hopefully.
or is it just a movie?
Literally a movie. It's like a short film. And then I'm also going to be doing a music video along with that short film. Hopefully it can go through. We greenlight at 80%.
Okay.
So I think we're at about 20 to 25% right now. So yeah.
And how much time do you have until it closes?
We have about 20 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so cool, man. I truly didn't know about the movie thing. So all the power to you, man. Totally.
Thank you very much.
So, Damian, we're at the show's end. I wanted to ask you this one last question.
Yes.
From everything that you've experienced coming up as a musician, as a rock star, and coming to this point where you've been in, as you said, 20 or so bands, and then you are kickstarting your solo career. What is the one thing from your perspective that you've done and you want to share with the world that you think the world will appreciate? What is that one perspective, that one tip that is personal to you that could be helpful for the audience?
One tip that's personal to me. I would say probably don't let anybody else, try to put you in a box, to be honest with you. Like, be who you want to be. Don't let anybody tell you who to be or say that you can't be this or you can't do this or you can't do that. I mean, within reason, of course. I just think being yourself and individuality is, a really important thing. And be proud of, to be proud of that and to be proud of who you are and not to, let people make you ever think any less of yourself, you know what I'm saying? That's what makes us all, unique, individual, and every one of us, beautiful in our own way.
Very well put. Damian, thank you very much for taking this journey with us into your musical world. Your passion for rock and dedication has been truly inspiring. I mean, I can't put it in any other way. We're looking forward to your solo career and to the music video. I mean, the movie, I would say.
Yes.
And
both.
Subsequently, the music video that follows it.
Yes.
Hopefully, we can get to that 80%. So, if you guys enjoyed it, if you liked what you saw, subscribe to Damian's channels, all of them, all of the above. Listen to his music on Spotify and SoundCloud. Give him some love, help him reach his dreams. And if you like this show, subscribe to the channel, share it with whoever you can, your friends, your family, your sisters and brothers, your sister's boyfriend, your brother's girlfriend, or any other type of partner. Anyone you can really find. Damian, it was such a great time that we had together. I hope that we can do this sometime again in the future.
Thank you so much.
All right, man.
I hope
keep
you have
rocking.
a great day. I hope everyone has a great night.